I needed a real computer nerd to fix my problem. Back now, I hope you're able to hear me. I see the dots moving and I see the bar here moving too. I'm gonna need somebody constantly to be in my ears to instruct me in these cases, yeah? Please confirm if you're able to hear me. Hello, are you able to hear me? Oh, okay, now we're rolling. This might be the third time that I'm coming live, isn't it? Not very regular on this format, actually, but I've been trying to make time. I have some ideas. I'm here to answer questions, obviously, have a conversation. And the most important question is, are you tired of the old methods of learning English? I want to know what you feel about it. I had a bunch of people asking me questions the last time I tried and the last time I tried, but then it failed, yeah. Then I waited for my brother. He is a real computer nerd, as I like to call him. He fixed the problem. I wasn't audible then. And staying here, I got off work at around 6. I do have some time on hand. We can have a conversation. Is it a possibility that I add somebody here? No, I didn't see anything. Thank you to people who stayed on. I can understand that it is a bit unexpected for me as well. It kind of, the system kind of ambushed me. I was all set to have this conversation at least 30 minutes ago, and then we are a bit late on it. Also, I did not inform you guys that I was going to go live today because I did not know it myself, you know what I'm saying? Just thought that this would be the right time to talk to people, and I'm here. Sometimes when you think too much before doing something, you're not able to do it at all. Yeah, just like I'm gonna change the script this time and not think about it too much and not take too much time before starting. So, I wanted you guys to tell me something about yourself and how you ended up on my channel. Are you learning English? How's it going so far? Or just some anything that you want to share with me about your day or difficulties that you have learning English. It's not a weekend, isn't it? It's Tuesday. Good Tuesday nights. Okay. Hello, Prashanti. I think you were here before. Thank you for staying on. You didn't complete the sentence, by the way. I'm from? Where are you from? It is actually really fun to talk to people live. And I think that is the best ways That is one of the best ways of learning anything, when you receive the knowledge in real time and you can ask questions to the person who's teaching you. And of course, I like the layout. I can see myself on the big screen. Yeah. Atlanta, I need your guidance, please. Oh, okay. What kind of a guidance you're looking for? Is there anything specific or something that we can solve here on this live? What kind of guidance are you talking about? Yeah, so of course, I've been busy with a lot of stuff, and I'm a student full time. I give lessons, I have a YouTube to manage, and I've got a life outside all of this. So, when you have like too many competing responsibilities, sometimes it's very easy to feel like you've got to be productive round the clock. And for me, it hits even harder because I've got students in all of these different time zones, and that does make me feel like I should always stay productive. And it's hard. Honestly, it's hard. So, like, you have to slow down sometimes and just let your brain process everything that's happening around you. So, this should be my wind down session. And Tuesdays are not so hectic for me. Neither are Wednesdays at this point. I've been an English practitioner for the last 1 year, although I'm a total beginner. A lot of things here to learn. I completely understand that. You've been practicing your English last 1 year. You don't see much progress. Um, so Joy, what do you do on a daily basis? Can you describe to me your daily routine? I'm an intermediate level, like B1 speaker, but I can understand C1 level conversations. That is how it is. When you like try to do something every single day, yet you don't see the desired results, it does make you feel a bit low. Let me tell you, research suggests that it takes about 5 to 7 years to get that native level fluency in both spoken and written conversations. I mean, spoken conversations obviously easier, and there is this amazing researcher and English teacher called Jim Cummins, and his work suggests that students can be divided into two categories based off their fluency, BICS and CALP. Yeah, these are acronyms. BICS would basically be like basic level fluency. When you use high frequency words, you can have conversations, you can talk informally, you can have small chats as well. But then when it comes to using English as an academic subject or understanding something dense in the language, that's when you get stuck. So you haven't reached the CALP stage yet. Simply speaking, you're going to have to, keep adding more layers to your routine, stay consistent for sure, and then make it a bit challenging. You have to try and listen to podcasts that's at least a bit above your current level, and just listen to it. Don't watch, don't allow yourself any kind of visual support. Listen without any cues, number one. Number two, try reading books that's slightly above your level. That is how it's supposed to be. That is what is called comprehensible input. Like, you understand it enough to read it or to complete the thing, but you don't understand 100% of what you're reading or listening to. Yeah. So Prashanti says, I really need to improve my speaking level. I quit my job last month and now I'm working on that, like spending 2, 3 hours. Sounds good. What do you do in those 2, 3 hours matters more. Can you give me more details, Prashanti? What do you do? So Joy says, yeah, I listen, write, read, speak, obviously. Obviously, okay. So you do all those four things in a day. Now, again, what matters more is how you do those things and what resources you're using. If you have any speaking partners with who you speak, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things factor in. As a teacher, you can't constantly answering questions, right? I mean, if there's any teachers watching this live right now, send me a high five if you relate. You're constantly answering questions. Sometimes questions come from a place of clear confusion, and sometimes questions come from a place of sadness or, just feeling discontent. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to answer questions that's not coming from a place of curiosity. When the person is sad and down and, all drained, and they come to you and say, "Can I really improve?" It's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. But then you're going to have to do stuff that I asked you to do. Hello, root sister. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know yet, my name's Richa. Obviously, I go by Richie English on YouTube. My mom calls me Richie sometimes, only sometimes, but I picked it. Hello, the black Pell. I don't want to butcher your name. Shadowing, reading Atomic Habits for 30 minutes each day, watching your videos, listening to podcasts. Okay, that sounds like a good stock of things that you're getting done in a day, Prashanti. What is your problem again? You're not fluent. You said you're able to understand conversations that are done in advanced English, so that's like comprehension's not your problem. But what you say again? You're not able to have conversations, whole conversations. What kind of conversations, if that's the thing? Ruchi sister, from which state are you? My name is Richa. I am from Jharkhand. I usually avoid that question. Morgan, Marcos Morton, how are you doing, young girl? Doing good. How about you? How are you guys doing? It's 2026. Have you been studying English, or are you still like celebrating? Because I have the speaking job, I have to drink a lot of water. I'm supposed to drink a lot of water. Yeah, it dries out my lips and it dries out my throat, and I lose my voice very easily. I'm supposed to drink some kind of herbal tea as well, something that I haven't started doing yet. But if I sit at my computer long hours and talk, then I guess I'm gonna have to start doing it. Right now, I don't sit at my computer long hours, like 15 minutes and then I get a gap. And 15 minutes and then I get a gap. And I'm also like, I have managed to maintain a schedule of 3 to 4 hours a day. That's not too much for me, but then I really have to take my water intake in seriously. Feeling nervous when spending time, but learning time couldn't concentrate. Concentration, that is the villain. Concentration is the villain for all of us, all of you watching, all of you. Concentration is the main villain. Distraction, rather, is the main villain. Concentration is a result, broken concentration is a result of it. Headache, and I need to improve. Feeling headache, and I need to improve. Now, I completely understand where you're coming from because you said like you quit your job a month back, yeah? And now you are trying to devote most of your time into becoming a better speaker. And next time you join the workforce, you want to bring your A game in communication. Totally understand what you're talking about, Prashanti. And you said that you're doing all of these things. Tell me, how long have you been practicing your English? No pain. Is it Naveen? Naveed, I guess. Okay, Navneetan. Let me call you Nav. From Tamil Nadu, I can able to understand and make a sentence in mind, but when I am start to speak with others, it difficult to the most of the time stuck. Yeah, the black something says digital penetration is attacking the concentration. 100%. So Joy says, yeah, I take offline classes. It's hard to go through the same process again and again. How have you been motivating yourself to dedicate your most of the time for this language? Prashanti says last month. Okay, going back to Nav, he says he's from Tamil Nadu. He's able to understand conversations, make sentences in his mind, but when it comes time to speak, he gets stuck. Very, very common problem. Look, Nav, you're gonna have to really get used to listening to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Most of us are not used to listening to our own voice. And when we listen to our voice, at times it bothers us. That's number one. Get more used to listening to yourself. You can talk to yourself as well. I am a big proponent of the idea of speaking to yourself if you don't have anybody around you. There was a time that I didn't have anybody around me either. I mean, that was not my start because some native speakers and Americans gave me a jump start. I'm very thankful to the opportunity that befell me. You know what I'm saying? I did not go about creating it. But then now you got to start speaking more, speak to yourself. And if you're getting stuck, that goes to show that you're not able to hold ideas or grammar or structures in your mind. And like I was saying earlier, just a bit ago, distraction. Distraction is tearing our concentration. If you don't have the retention to remember things, that means you're distracted. Check your screen time. This is one of the things that I ask my students in private lessons. Check your screen time. Yeah, and most people end up saying it's, 10 hours or 12 hours. That to me is crazy. That is crazy. You know what I'm saying, Nav? Start speaking more, get used to listening to your own voice, practice concentration. Coming back to Sujoy, taking offline class, how do I stay motivated? Because, like the number one motivator is your own results. But then in theory, you're not supposed to chase motivation, you're supposed to chase discipline. Yeah. That is the discipline motivation distinction. Always chase discipline, don't chase motivation because it keeps coming and going just like confidence. There is no straight jacket formula for that. Prashanti says from last month, I guess. Okay, so you quit your job last month and you started practicing your English. It's been 1 month and you've been doing all of these things. I think you should be in a better position if you're doing it right. You've been practicing English 1 month, Prashanti. Tell me, what is your review from the first month? People listening to me, do you guys like reading books? Do you read books? Do you like reading books? Are you trying to read books? What books are you trying to read? What books have you read so far? I mean, I started off as a person who didn't like reading either. I never liked reading as a child. Um, I saw some of my friends reading novels, very the popular ones by the Rare Pedro and all, and I was definitely nudged to read a bit, but I didn't feel the passion to. And reading is something that requires a bit of passion, especially when you start leveling up. Yeah, you start reading like more dense literatures, philosophies that requires foundational knowledge and a lot of passion. At this point, I'm very comfortable with reading. I'd say I enjoy reading. Prashanti says, I feel like tensed days passing day by day. I'm not able to make sense of it completely. Tense days passing day by day. Okay, are you saying like you're getting better each day, or are you saying like you're getting more tensed each day? Whatever you're doing, by the way, Prashanti, is really good. If you're able to maintain a routine like that and stay consistent over the next 6 months, you should see a remarkable change in the way you communicate, in the level of your confidence, your knowledge levels, right? But if you feel like you're just stuck and there's nothing that's helping, then maybe we're gonna have to tweak something. I am spend productivity 3 hours. Will I get my level up? 100%. If you're spending like 3 hours per day to study English, you're consistent, you're doing it right, you're doing it with full concentration. I mean, concentration is not a given. You're gonna have to fight it out. My thing is that you stay consistent 3 hours per day. Shouldn't take you too long to level up. What is your review from the first month though? How do you feel? I asked you all about your reading habits. Do you like reading? You're trying to read. Do you find the idea of reading fascinating or not? I mean, I always found the idea of reading very fascinating, and I was very curious to know how people read for hours on end and finish reading 2, 3 books in just 1 week. At first, it was very hard for me, an idea that almost felt like out of grasps. You know what I'm saying? But with time, things change. You start to feel the interest and you start to feel the passion. You're going to have to start, have a goal in your mind, and keep leveling up. This is what I like to say. This is what I always say. Keep adding more layers to your routine if you want the graph to keep going up. I didn't see much improvement. Okay, so you've been doing all these things 1 month and you don't see much improvement. Because you said you live in Atlanta, is that what you said? Do you have any practice partners around you? Are you getting any real life practice, Prashanti? We're taking it step by step, right? I'm asking you a question, you're dropping a reply. We're taking it step by step. Interesting says hi. Hello. Do you guys like live streams? Do you think it's better if somebody comes on live and teaches you, gives you a lesson? Would you prefer that over pre-recorded videos? I mean, I for one would definitely prefer live lessons. That is how we've studied in our schools and colleges. So that is part of the way we learn, isn't it? And now things are changing because we use YouTube as a learning tool, most of us, I'd say almost all of us. And YouTube does not have a lot of content that is live streamed. Most of it is pre recorded. And I believe in freshness. So, what is your opinion on this? Do you like lessons, or would you like lessons that are delivered live over lessons that are pre recorded? Yes, no, all my language people around me, I'm practicing with ChatGPT. You're practicing with ChatGPT. Okay, Prashanti, now here's the thing. I, yes, definitely. Interesting says that it's definitely a better idea to learn live, isn't it? It is. I mean, there shouldn't be a question or a doubt about it, but I'm still gonna put it like an open-ended question. You can tell me what you feel about it. It's definitely a better idea to learn live. How can I contact to book your sessions? There's a link available in my bio, YouTube description. By the way, going back to what you were saying earlier, you have language people around me. Yes, no language people around you. Yeah, I think that's what you meant. And you said I'm practicing with ChatGPT. The thing that's happening with you is that you're just trying to come out on top at this point. You're nervous. You're trying to do it in a very time-bound way. Language learning, unfortunately, does not work exactly like that. It is almost like creativity, right? You gotta be creative in the process and creative in the process. I got distracted. You got to be creative in the process, give it time, okay? And let it sink in. If you want to become a fluent speaker in 2, 3 months, or even in, you know, 1 year time, it kind of becomes more difficult. You might become fluent in a year, but then if you set tight deadlines, it is a different thing. So my suggestion, Prashanti, let it loose, okay? Do whatever you're doing, keep experimenting, stay consistent, and I wouldn't want you to measure your progress every so often. Quit doing that. Quit thinking about it too much. Enjoy the process, even though it might be hard for you at this point because you're trying to relaunch yourself into the workforce as soon as possible. Completely get that, but it has to be given its time, right? Language learning, by the way, is a gradual process. You can like jumpstart, but you cannot exactly expedite it. My suggestion: keep doing whatever you're doing. Don't worry too much. Try and enjoy the process. Do you know what I mean? I want to join your classes. You think, did you face any judgment or criticism at the initial stage of your journey? Say people say learn English, but when you speak in English in public, they behave differently in this country. I never speak English in public. That is my way out. No. Okay, on a more serious note, define criticism. Did I get criticism? Define criticism. Did I get judgment? Define judgment. I think, according to some definitions, I did get judgment and criticism, but it didn't get to me, so it wasn't so bad. How improve English when B2, B1, B2 level? Okay, a nice comment. Hello there, you are doing really great. Your vlogs are nice. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Back to the question, how improve English when you are on B1, B2 level? Hafiza? Hafiza? Yeah. B1, B2 level, you're almost there, right? But then you might be plateaued. How do you overcome that? Add more challenges to your routine. Try speaking to yourself, record yourself, and make it a routine. Record yourself every single day, I'd say. This fear of being in front of the camera is something that we all have to overcome in today's time. Yeah? Can you tell me what specific problems you face, by the way? Hafiza? Does depend on the person's unique challenges and shortcomings. Your English is giving me headache. You think? Why would you say that? Is that a rude comment? I'm really not rushing this. I'm gonna stay here for some more time. Is it cold there? Are you enjoying the winter season? It's very cold in my city. Very, very cold. And obviously I don't have that central heating system installed in my not just in my room, in my home actually. I was gonna say in my room, but now I can conflated the idea with the AC. So we don't have the central heating system in my house. That makes it so much worse. And I have to give lessons in this room. This is my room. And for some reason, it's even colder here. I just feel very happy when I get off work. I just run straight into my parents' room. That's warmer because it gets the sun. I think that's the reason. You see, like when you talk about things, you solve your own problems, you answer your own questions. I tried a couple of times before this one, yeah, and I almost thought that I wouldn't be able to make it today. But then I checked and checked and I checked and then I checked with my brother, and then he was finally able to diagnose the problem. Ma'am, since long I'm watching your class. It's very nice. Also interested in joining your class. Kindly allow me. Thanks. Appreciate it. You'll find the link in my description, yeah? I'm learning English for quite some time, but the more I learn, the more I get. The more I learn, the more I get. I still don't know anything. Oh, the more you learn, the more you feel like you don't know anything. What to do? No, that does happen sometimes. You're the person who made the rude comment, yeah? Okay, so you've been learning English, but you feel like you do not know anything. Are you testing it? Do you ever try to see how far you've progressed? Or are you just learning? There was a point in time in my life when I was just consuming a lot of content in English, not reading at all, by the way, just consuming a lot of content in English. And that made me feel pretty confident. I thought, like, I can have debates and I can speak publicly. English is no problem for me anymore. But then I started to have conversations, started participating in school competitions, debate competitions, speech competitions, and that was a reality check for me. So when you're consuming a lot of content and you're consistent with it, it makes you feel like you're there. Yeah, you've reached the stage and there's nothing more that's there to achieve. But that could be an illusion. So besides learning English, consuming content, reading, you should also try and test your English from time to time. Time to time. Yeah. Not every single day. Don't be bothered by it. But try and have conversations at least twice a week. That would be a good reality check. I want to join the classes. Good evening. It's amazing to see you live. Live. It is good to see myself live. Been a minute, yeah? The last time I came live was last year. What month? I don't recollect. But definitely been a minute. How do you feel when you hear your accent? Do you feel satisfaction? I am trying to decrease the gap between vocab. Is there a word limit problem here? I'm trying to decrease the gap between vocab. How do I feel when I hear my accent? First of all, I don't have any one accent. My accent kind of keeps adapting and evolving. Yeah. And number two, I like hearing myself. At this point, yes. Earlier, I didn't like the sound of my voice, I'm going to be honest. You're trying to decrease the gap between your vocabulary. I mean, are you trying to minimize the thinking time? Hafiza, also, I want to work on intonation. Any more tips on speak fluently, like natives? Actually, that is a very good point you're touching upon, Hafiza. Most people do not think about intonation, but that is such a major part of sounding fluent. Sounding fluent, yeah, the correct pronunciation and then the intonation. First of all, you have to understand that there's steps to it. Step number one is to make sure that you're pronouncing the words right. Yeah, listen to the pronunciation, practice along. That's the easiest way of going about it. Step number two would be focusing on the stress in the pronunciation. That is a gradual process. I wouldn't ask people to check the stress or be bothered by it from the get go. No, not really. That's not so important for beginners, at least. But if you feel like you're able to pronounce words correctly, then go on checking the stress. Every word has a stressed syllable. Yeah? Check that, and that's going to help you a lot with your intonation. That goes into your accent, that goes into your intonation, and just learn some basic stuff about intonation, rising intonation, falling intonation, for sentences and questions, and how that's different. That should be pretty much it at this point if you're just beginning. Jesse says, "Good evening, ma'am." Good evening, Jesse. Sujoy, I don't like when I'm constantly getting my voice with some O sound. Okay, you're talking about fillers. I get it. If you overuse fillers, it's not a good sound, not a good look. Completely understand. But, in the process, some people just start hating fillers and they're like, I'm going to be frozen in a conversation for 1 minute. I'm not going to use any fillers. That's how much they hate it. You shouldn't go there, is my thing. Fillers are not so bad after all. That is the natural way of speaking, actually. Somebody who does not use any fillers is very likely, is highly likely to sound robotic. I'm not saying that this is a verdict. It's, the chances are high. So don't be annoyed by the fillers. And if you want to minimize fillers, speak a bit slow. Learn to take pauses. Get comfortable with your pauses. Yeah? Shanti, I sent a mail. You did, okay? Jesse, I want to join your English lesson, ma'am. There is a link in your description. Erica, how did you learn this accent shadowing method? Zero shadowing I've done in my life. Keep repeating this. With all the humility, zero shadowing. How did I acquire the accent? I have been very serious about it. Yeah? No fun stuff. Been very serious. And I started speaking English with some native speakers. That was a unique opportunity in my life. Not everybody can replicate that. But then once I felt like I was able to sound a bit like them, I started learning the rules of the accent, the American accent. I started consuming a bunch of content. My American friends suggested I watch reality TV over shows or movies. I've done that a lot. I still polish my accent every single day. You know what I'm saying? But I have never actively tried to shadow anybody. I had the time, right? I had all the time in the world to learn the accent and to become as close to perfect as possible. But for some people, that's not a possibility. So if you don't have much time on hand, in that case, you can start by learning the rules of the accent. Yeah. And shadowing should help. I cannot say it helps or it doesn't. I don't have personal experience, but it should help. When I don't do practice 2-3 days, I start fumbling and freezing often. So how could I get over from this? Afghan, is that how you say your name? That does happen. If I stop practicing today, in 2 weeks' time, I guess, I wouldn't be as confident. That is the truth. That is the truth of the situation. If it happens to you in 2-3 days, like, you don't have a very heavy bank balance at this point. Okay. And Even if you're not practicing English, keep reading, keep listening. That will keep you in the flow state. Don't come out of the flow state, is all. I speak in English every single day. I work like 30 days a month, 31 days a month. You know what I'm saying? Rarely do I take off or have off. But that's no problem by me because I work like 3 hours a day and I try to cap it at that. I wouldn't go beyond 3 hours. Until last year, I used to work 2 hours only strictly because I had college and stuff. Now I'm a graduate, so I can do like 3, 4 hours. But practice is very important. You should practice as much as possible. But for some reason, if you're not able to practice, reading and listening constantly would also keep you in practice. You wouldn't go out of practice, right? You wouldn't go out of form. That's one thing. Number two, try to record yourself. And you record yourself and you listen to the stuff, you watch yourself. At first, it would feel icky. I know that feeling. But convince yourself to be okay with it. Tell yourself that you're learning and that you can sound a bit off or a bit boring at times. And you have to be okay with it. We always like talk about being the bigger person in a situation. Forgive other people. Forgive yourself for making mistakes, yeah? You want to take everyone wants to take the high road. Don't just take the high road with other people. Take the high road with yourself as well. Forgive yourself if you made mistakes. Don't quit learning. Stay consistent. I don't like when I'm constantly okay. What inspired you to start YouTube channel? Would you like to share your journey? Actually, yes. Wasn't any one moment. Many things inspired me to start my YouTube, but I would say like the biggest reason I decided I should start is because I read a book, and the book is called So Good They Can't Ignore You. The author talks about choosing your capabilities over your calling. Doesn't sound very good, does it? YouTube was not exactly my calling, it was my capability. I chose my capability over my calling. And the day I decided I wanted to do it, the day I decided, that was the day when I filmed my first video because I knew that this would drain. If I waited on it 1 day, 2 days, or a week, I would just change my mind. So the moment I felt energized with this idea, I have to be a YouTuber, I just sat at my desk and filmed my introduction. And I posted it on that day. And then you start to feel like this compulsion, right? It's not bad at all, but then you do feel the compulsion to stay consistent because people expect you, and that is a big deal. Of course, says appreciate it, ma'am. Of course. I can understand how much hard work you have done to reach this level where everyone speaks different languages and you also are constantly doing hard work to hold this level and grow more. Yeah, appreciate it. From Canada. Hello, Shubham from Canada. It's very cold in Canada, I've heard. I got a few students there, and I'm not even sure at this point how are these places even habitable. Having the same conversation with this other student. She lives in Seattle right now, I guess. And she keeps moving around the states. So she was like, "It is so cold in here, and there's nothing you can do to deal with it properly. This place is literally inhabitable." By the way, I wouldn't know because I haven't been to Canada, the colder parts, but people are managing. What do you do besides teaching English? Your English is very good, is it? I'm a full time student. Mauve, appreciate it. Hafiza, how many books have you read till now, and what kind of book you read? How many books have I read till now? I don't have a count. I don't know how many. I think quite a few at this point. Like I said, I wasn't always a reader. I wasn't born with this interest or passion. Um, I would even go as far as saying I hated reading. And from that, I have switched gears. And now I would say I love reading. I do not know the exact number of books that I've read, but I would say I'm able to do at least one in a week. In a good week, too. One in a week is my target. What kind of books do I read? I keep leveling up. Right now, when I say the word, I really mean it. I'm dunking my head into the philosophical side of communication. I got so much content prepared in my head I want to share with you guys. I'm still just trying to streamline everything in my life and find the right way of presenting all the ideas that I've collected over the past months. I've been reading Aristotle's The Art of Rhetoric, and geez, that is a book. Very, very, very heavy, very heavy. And I want to like share it all with you, share it all with you. You know what I'm saying? Do it on live sessions. But for all of my sins, I'm still waiting for the right time. How many books have I read till now? Yeah. Your one tip that wake up in the morning, dude, when I also question describe, start recording, it helped me a lot. So personally, thank you. Really appreciate your review of Car. And that is the reason I'm very confident about this one exercise that I've talked about. This is extremely helpful, extremely. I know about it. I think I mentioned a few times in my videos that I was helping a group of Ukrainian students get into American universities. They were going to take the IELTS, and we didn't have much time on hand. I asked them to do this every single morning, just spend 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes. Sounds fair? And they did it consistently for a few months, a little over a month, and they got in. Every single one of them, they got in. That is a sob story, by the way. Whenever I remember about it, I think about Ukraine, and you know what's happening in Ukraine. Yeah. I am in direct contact with some people. I'm in direct contact with some people who are in direct contact with some people in Ukraine. But I get the live updates. I get to hear what's happening in there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what the country is going through. And in the face of such adversity, they're not ready to give up. Dunking, like dipping my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm dipping my head into communication philosophies. Fees are great. Thus, when I try to speak, words not come to my mind goes blank while speaking. That is a very common problem. You know, there could be a few reasons why that happens. My number one reason, like the number one reason that I found from my experience, my personal, and from my students, thus, is a lack of concentration. If your mind goes blank, yes, there's nervousness at play. Yes, there's lack of vocabulary at play. Yes, there is lack of experience at play. All these other things. But mostly, if it always happens, even in a low stress environment, then it means that your brain is not trained enough to hold the grammar or the ideas that you think. What is the way out? Minimize your screen time. Number one, practice concentration. Number two, don't multitask. Number three. Aside from that, if it is happening because of anything else, it could be lack of vocabulary, lack of grammar knowledge, lack of experience. Work on those things as well. Start listening to good content. Stay consistent with that. Yeah? Take notes, revise it. It shouldn't happen in 2 months' time if you stay consistent with all of this. There was a time when I tried to read philosophies and it just felt like it was next to impossible. I just wouldn't understand what they were trying to say, any of it. Even the first sentence, you start with high levels of motivation, and then you feel like, I don't understand any of what they're saying. What the hell? And I'm very happy that at this point it has changed. And I'm hoping that it would get even better in the future. But if you are interested in reading philosophies and you are on the B1, B2 level, or even A1 level, use OpenAI. I've done that a lot. Let's say you're reading a dense literature, you don't understand what's being written in those pages. Click a picture, upload it on Gemini or ChatGPT, and ask it to explain it within the context. The problem with OpenAI is that it tends to go out of context very quickly. Yeah? And it also bases its replies on your previous conversations. So if you talked about vocabulary in the previous chat, it might include a bit of that in this new response. Ask it to stay within the context strictly. And ChatGPT in this case works great. Gemini works great. Should I learn vocabulary first, then start speaking? Do you know enough vocabulary to start speaking? That is the question. Do you not know enough vocabulary? The answer is obvious. My thing is that you can start speaking in English, as soon as you want, but do you have the right resources? Have you worked on your pronunciation? Have you worked on your vocabulary, on your grammar, even a little bit? If the answer is yes, then go ahead. But if you're just like starting to learn English and you want to start speaking on day one, it should be done in a controlled environment, is my thing. Because I talked about it in the last video. If you don't think about the foundational knowledge at all, then what happens is that you end up fossilizing a lot of mistakes. Those mistakes take root in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to uproot a tree that's taken roots. Yeah? You understand demonstration? Rina, hi Richa, nice to see you. Nice to hear from you, Rina. Been over 53 minutes. Yeah, close to an hour. Time flies, guys. When you're talking to people, time flies. I obviously love this. And I like to believe that I have a natural talent in speaking in general. Anything else you guys want to ask or tell me? Like I was saying earlier, if you're tired of the old methods of learning English, I have a plan for you. But again, the thing that I'm about to plan to do, not about to do, about to plan to do, is going to be quite dense. And this time I'm trying to get into the layers of everything, not leave out anything. Yeah. No matter how complex these philosophies or just books in general are on communication, I am going to try and get to the bottom of everything. I'm speaking in riddles. I don't want to, But at this point, I'm just trying to do something really, really good, kind of out of the ordinary. And I believe actions speak louder than words. I don't want to make promises before I really get started. Do you know what I mean? But one thing that I can say without doubt is that I'm spending a lot of time reading very dense literature on communication, a bunch of books on communication, a bunch of websites that I am ransacking almost for communication, and I'm doing all of it keeping in mind the learners that follow me, the people on YouTube. Yeah. This I can say beyond doubt that I'm spending a lot of time reading new work, research, philosophy on communication. It's like honed in on communication, laser focused on communication. And I'm going to try and make content based on that. And we're going to try and do something different. Okay. Of course. Apparently, I can say you are the best English teacher on YouTube so far. You think? Appreciate it. That's how many vocabulary words I need to know to speak English without getting stuck. How many? I wouldn't even know how many words I know. You know, there are some tests for this, by the way, but you don't have to keep a count. Like I said, it's a process that you're supposed to enjoy. You don't have to keep a count. You don't have to be very timely on this. You don't have to. I mean, you have to have enough vocabulary plus enough practice to speak in English. Practice doesn't only come from um, conversations, it can also come from reading, listening, and recording yourself. Your articulation is superb. Appreciate it. The way you're putting and expressing your thoughts vividly, you remind me about Jordan Peterson. Is it? I do listen to Jordan Peterson quite a lot. Not anymore though, because as a kid, I thought that I was a very opinionated kid. I wasn't. I was depending on other people's opinions, and I only had this illusion of being an opinionated person. So I did not have any point of diversion from these people. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to say that I listened to a lot of great speakers, um, and I felt like I had the same exact thoughts as them, and there was no disagreements from my side. I accepted everything that they said about religion, politics, God, whatever it was. But now it's changed. There's points of diversions and there's points of conversions. I still agree with a great deal of what these people say, but I don't agree with everything else. So yeah, I've kind of minimized my consumption of JB and among other people. We're gonna round it up, yeah? 2 more minutes. We're gonna make it a 1 hour live session after 1 complete year of coming live. The last time I was live was last year, isn't it? What do I do about it? I said I have competing responsibilities, but then obviously it is in my hands to streamline everything and make regular lives. How do you find the native French to communicate? Because of my cousins. My cousins were studying in the US at that time. They're back. I mean, long back. They came back long back. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I guess that's pretty much it. Final words. Like I said, I'm spending a lot of time preparing something. And All I expect you guys to do is to stay consistent. I guarantee whatever you do consistently will show results. But then if you have the right methods, you just know where you're headed and what is your mode of transportation. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to put my best effort into creating a series of content that is going to help you in every level. And we're like throwing out the old information and old methods that people have repeated for generations. And those things are redundant at this point, yeah? None of that is working. And people are tearing their hair, as I like to say. None of it is working, tearing their hair. I am trying to make content based on solid research, experience, and refinements, a lot of refinements. Okay. I hope to begin quite soon, very soon, just as soon as I feel like, okay, now I have it, like I have it on schedule. But the time that I'm spending with these books, I have a couple here lying on my bed, is entirely to create content this time. I'm not reading just for myself. I'm reading for the learners of language and communication. And if we're going to learn communication anyway, why not learn it from the best? And by no means do I mean to say I'm the best. No, I'm talking about people like Aristotle and Cicero. Yeah. If we're going to learn communications anyway, why not learn it from the best? Okay, now. Just a final few questions. Hey, where are you from? You're Sophia. How can I improve my English? How did you find it? Okay. Where are you from, doctor? You call me doctor? I'm from India. You're so fluent in English. How can I improve my English? Listen, obviously depends on your level. So first of all, start listening to good content. In the beginning, you might need to watch the video long and read the subtitles. Don't be bothered by that. That's okay. That's how you get started. But start leveling up as soon as possible. Listen and then only listen. Listen to podcasts without any visual cues. Then move on to reading. And all this while, try and speak to yourself. Make it a habit. These three things, that's it, yeah? Start with listening. Make listening more challenging, as in reduce the visual cues. Just listen to a podcast and try to understand every single thing. Yeah? Read, that would be the second step. And all this while, I want you to keep talking to yourself, develop it as a habit. I still talk to myself a lot. And I think I've mentioned this a few times that while returning from my tuition classes on the way, I would just keep talking to myself. And people on the sides would think this girl's gone crazy. She should be in a nut house or somewhere. But that's never been a problem by me. I never even thought about it. Which app are you using for video editing? I don't think like my edits are amazing, like so amazing that you would ask me this question. Is it though? Is my editing amazing? I have a question. I guess I answered a couple of your questions. Is it anything else? How do you understand such complex literature books? That is the problem with philosophies. And I'm going to use the word problem here confidently. Why? Because philosophies require foundational knowledge. You have to know some things about it. And obviously, it requires a ton of passion, a ton. We're going to have to end this, guys. I would say one thing before leaving. There's one application, HelloTalk, where we find native speakers, and this application is completely free. 100%. HelloTalk. We must see it. Hello. Okay, now 1 hour, 4 minutes. It's 8:30. You might be thinking this is my dinner time, but this is not my dinner time. My dinner time, weirdly, is 1 p.m. I've been trying this new extreme variant of intermittent fasting where I stop eating at 1 p.m. in the day. I still don't feel comfortable with the routine, but I'm trying and I'm gonna keep trying. 1 p.m. dinner time, yes. That is the hype that I want. The big wow that you sent to me, that's what I deserve. Appreciate it. Share the little slide. Appreciate it. Keep influencing us. That's what I aim to do. OMG, wow. Make more videos. Make more videos. Yeah, need a reminder. Make more videos. You know, the problem is you get stuck in a loop. If you focus on the quality, then consistency becomes a challenge. And if you're focusing on consistency, I'm talking about like churning out videos, yeah? Posting videos. In terms of posting videos, if you focus on quality, consistency suffers. If you focus on consistency, quality suffers. So you're gonna have to strike the balance, right? And I'm talking to myself right now. Buddha said it. It is always the middle path that is the right path. And striking a balance is a hard thing for sure. Are you a human being? Where are you from? I am new on your stream, first time here. I am from India. 1 p.m. or a.m.? 1 p.m. I said 1 p.m. Consistency over quality. I mean, that's what you believe in. Okay. I'm gonna go continue reading, right? I feel a big responsibility right now. Yeah, because I have to read and read and read and be able to filter out the best information, find a way to present it all so that I can share it with you guys. Up India se ho, while your accents like foreigners. Okay. I feel like you're from UK, USA, or Canada. Is it? I always plan practicing this, but I forget I have no consistency. At the start, it could be hard, right? And that is why so many people just find another person in their life who would keep them accountable. Ratain. Ratain. Is that how you say your name? Ratain? It is a good idea to find somebody in your life who is going to keep you accountable at the start if consistency is your problem. And then once you start seeing the results, your results would be the biggest motivator. You wouldn't need anything else. You wouldn't need phone notifications to remind you to go back and complete an exercise or learn a word or practice a pronunciation. Yeah, it's gonna be internal. Good to know. Are you a teacher? I like to think I am. How do you find an accountability partner? You can talk to a tutor. Yeah, you can talk to a friend who speaks better English than you. Not very good at saying goodbyes, but this is obviously not the end. I am gonna try and come live more often than ever. And I would really appreciate it if you guys do whatever I ask you to do, right? And tell me the feedback because I have a bunch of stuff I want to share with you. I want you to practice that, follow it, and give me the honest feedback. That's all that I'm asking for. Test it for yourself. I'm going to bring you information from the top sources, best research, best books. All I'm asking in return, try and do it. Let me know about it, how it works. Okay? Very productive conversation. Oh, which is better? Accountability means what, ma'am? Accountability is like being answerable. Yeah. In school, when you didn't do the homework, you had 10 people asking after it. Your mom, your teacher, your tuition teacher, your dad, your friends, everybody. That is a way of keeping somebody answerable, asking them to remember about their responsibility, reminding them of the responsibility. So if you have somebody in your life who's going to remind you that you have to do this and do this much, that is good at the start. It's good to have somebody to remind you like that. Which is better, doing unfiltered live, upload videos with proper script? Depends on the niche, yeah. But like if it's like a conversational type of thing, spontaneity above everything. Spontaneity. Very helpful. Thanks a lot. Appreciated, Basket. Oh, I'm feeling repetitive. I'm feeling repetitive while ISRW. Can you guide me? What should I do? I'm not good at vocabulary. Listen, take notes, revise your notes. It is not complicated. Let me tell you, just stay consistent. 1 or 2 months, you would see a remarkable difference in your vocabulary. Listen, yeah? Take notes, revise those notes. You can take paper notes or WhatsApp notes, whatever works better for you. What do you do? Full time student, part time teacher, quarter time YouTuber. I'm gonna have to say bye for now, okay? Really appreciate your joining my live, asking me questions, engaging with it. You know, if you want to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. And one more time, if we're going to learn communication anyway, why not learn it from the best? I'll give you more information on what I was talking about. Yeah. And I'm going to try and make sure that we meet more often. Okay. I'm a mini YouTuber. And should I go live, upload videos? In my opinion, live videos are 10 times more engaging than pre-recorded uploads. But everything can be live streamed, so it heavily depends on the context. Okay, now